first of all, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling okay, actually. I'm feeling pretty good at this point,
Yeah, I mean,
considering
you seem pretty positive right now.
I was, you know what, I was positive from the get-go. I'm not an alarmist, and I'm not somebody that gets stressed out by something like this.
Wow,
Um, there's a saying, it goes, slow is smooth and slew is fast. So it's
that's right.
essentially like, don't stress out. Like, otherwise, when you stress out, you make things worse. So if you
That's
just,
very true. That's very true. Where are you now? It looks like you're in like Aladdin.
I'm in my bed. This is my headboard.
That's your headboard?
Yes.
Holy crap, that's really nice headboard. Damn.
Thanks.
Wow. And what state are you? Are you in Maryland?
I'm in Maryland.
Baltimore?
Yes, Baltimore, Maryland, where we met.
I just drove through there yesterday. Come here, Cloud.
Well, I was going to say you should have let me know, but we would not be able to meet because
Yeah,
I
I'm
am
happy I
on
did it.
lockdown by the health department. So
Wow. All right. So I have to ask you a lot of questions about this. Hopefully we could do this in about 15 minutes.
yeah, whatever, however much time you need, and
Cool.
I'll try to answer them as best I can.
Awesome. And I got a lot of questions from some of my my Facebook friends, so they're
Okay.
curious too about this. And here's Cloud, my new puppy.
Hi, Cloud. Oh,
Yeah, she's
what
cute.
a cutie.
Yeah, she's cute.
Hopefully I'll meet you when I'm not quarantined.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So I'm curious. Why did you get tested? What happened?
Just, because I felt like doing it.
No.
Um,
What symptoms did you have? Were you coughing?
so I'll give you the timeline. So last Wednesday, I woke up, and just to preface this, I have autoimmune issues. So, FYI, I woke up Wednesday, broken out in hives. And usually when I'm like broken out in hives, it means like my body's kind of, something's fighting, it's fighting something in my body. And so I woke up with hives, and I was like, oh, I thought maybe it's because the night before I'd eaten something with gluten, because I'm not really supposed to have gluten. But then that night, there was just a weird feeling in my chest. It was just barely discernible. And I knew, I was like, something's going to happen, like respiratory wise. I thought maybe I was going to get a cold, or I was even maybe thinking maybe it's just allergies, because it was just, it was like an itchy, like dryness in my chest. And I had like an inconsistent cough. So it wasn't something that I was just hacking. I would cough every now and then. I could feel it in my chest.
Man.
So just having that, and because all the big announcements just happened to really come to light Wednesday evening, I decided to start working from home Thursday, because I have a coworker who is very immunocompromised because she has cancer, and she just had chemo on Monday. So just to be super safe with everything going on, I started working from home. And the next 2 days, I still had that feeling in my chest. It got a little bit more noticeable. I'd cough a little bit more, but otherwise I felt great. And then Friday, late afternoon, early evening, I was talking to a neighbor, and I got hit with this weird headache that made me feel really dizzy and felt like I was almost going to pass out. So I was like, you know what, let me just go in, just, eat my dinner and go to bed. So I went to bed early, and the next morning at 5 a.m. I woke up, and I was like, something's wrong with me. And I felt like I was just hot, and I was like sweating, and I took my temperature, and I had a low grade temperature, and I was like,
Wow. That's so scary.
Yeah. So right around like 9 o'clock, I went back to bed and tried to sleep it off. And I woke up at like 9, and I tried to call my doctor's office, because I knew something was up. And of course my doctor wasn't there, because it's the weekend. And so I had the option of talking to the doctor on call. If it was an emergency, they would have connected me with the doctor, but it wasn't an emergency. I wasn't, I didn't need to go to the hospital. I knew like this was something that needed to get tested. And
Right.
so I declined and said, let me just wait it out. So essentially I kind of went under the mindset of, you know what, when people get really sick, they've sometimes put people in a medically induced coma. I know this is weird. This is weird logic. And I'm going to tell everybody I am not a doctor. So this is just what I decided to do on my own. But I took Advil, which now they're saying not to do, but it was fine, because I needed to take my fever down to fight the inflammation in my body. And I took a Benadryl, and I essentially slept all day Saturday and night, and all day Sunday. I had the fever again the next day. It just kept coming back. And so I just slept. I woke up like here and there just to drink some hot tea and some bone broth, but I had no appetite, zero appetite. And that's very, very rare for me. Like I didn't want one piece of food in my body. So, and then Monday, I called my doctor's office and I told them, you know, what my symptoms were. And my doctor, who is fantastic, she's wonderful. If you don't have like a doctor who's your advocate, you need to go find someone, because she right away, I didn't even have to ask her. She's like, I'm going to call this in and get you an order to get tested, which isn't very easy. If you've tried to go do it, it's not easy task at all.
I've read through a lot of media reports and through the news that like it's really hard to get tested right now. So how did you get tested so quickly?
Because my doctor really pushed for it, and she knows I have autoimmune issues, so she made sure to let them know that, because at first they said she doesn't qualify because I'm not 60 and older. Right. I am immunocompromised myself because of my autoimmune issues, but I also had been at a few events where there were some international people there. So I think that's really kind of what allowed them to like relent and let me do it.
If you could look back, do you know where you think you might have got it, or is it just such a crapshoot?
No, it is a crapshoot. This is why I really like plead with people who are kind of poo-pooing the social distancing thing. Is there was not one clue as to who could have given it to me, and you know it's so stealthy that like I don't know. And everybody's asked me that, and even when I talked to the health department, they were like, no, there's no way to figure it out at this point. In fact, they kind of were like, it's everywhere, so we're not even. Wow. Because I thought maybe we needed to let the event places know where I'd been. I, of course, Saturday, the moment, let me just go back so you guys think, no, I'm responsible. Saturday, when I had a fever, I texted all these people that I'd been around in the past couple of days just to give them a heads up that I did have some of these symptoms, even though, you know, I wasn't sure. But I just wanted them to be aware, and I wanted them to really, you know, reinforce the social distancing. So, you know, FYI, that's the first thing I did. And I self-quarantined myself immediately, total isolation. I did not see like one human being. Good. And I have not seen one human being since, other than when I got tested. Wow.
So how many days has it been now that you've been under quarantine?
Since last Saturday. So
it's okay. I don't even know what today's Thursday.
Today's Thursday, wow. Right? I almost am lost on the days too.
Your day like 5 right now of just not seeing anybody.
Yeah.
Hey, babies. Daddy's in the middle of an interview. Come here. Let me pick up Cloud. She's a troublemaker. All right, here's Cloud, the troublemaker.
Cloud, hi.
Such a bad little girl. Wow. All right. So that's how are you? But right now you're feeling pretty healthy.
No, I'm feeling pretty good. Other than the fever's gone. Okay. I still have this cough, and it comes and goes, and you know it's not absolutely terrible. It's just like when I start coughing, I think sometimes just the pressure, the lack of oxygen makes me get dizzy, and I almost like pass out. But otherwise, I feel pretty lucky. I feel good considering.
Wow, cool. Well, not cool. That's but I'm happy that you're feeling better. I'm gonna go through some questions that my followers sent me for you.
Okay.
And you can answer whatever you're comfortable answering. If you're not comfortable, we could just skip it. Totally fine. So this is from my friend from high school. She asked, and this is an awkward question to ask because you're a lady. You're not supposed to ask this question, but they wanted to know. This is a woman to a woman. How old are you? They asked. They're curious.
Oh, I'm not. I'm very proud of how old I am. I turned 43 in January.
All right. I told her that you were probably like mid-30s, so I was wrong about that.
No, okay. I'm 43.
Okay, great. So you're 43. We already went over the symptoms that you're feeling. The process for getting tested, your doctor handled most of that for you, right?
Well, you have to get a doctor's order. They have to call it in, and they're here in Maryland. There are a few mobile testing sites. Okay. I went to Hopkins, so the turnover was quicker, and I believe that's because Hopkins, once this coronavirus hit, they created their own test. So, and it was very, very streamlined. Was
it a swab?
From what I'm here.
How do they test you?
No. So basically, they took these what were kind of like essentially like mascara spoolies on long sticks. You know what a mascara spoolie is? Yeah. It's kind of like
bristles.
Bristles. Yeah, it's like these bristles, like a little brush. Yeah. Like a little skinny bottle cleaner. And they went up each nostril very deep, and they twisted it a couple times. So it was almost like a brain biopsy. It felt like.
Was there any pain when they were biopsying your brain?
No, it definitely made like me tear up
Okay.
But I mean, it's totally like worth it.
Okay.
But I definitely, when they hit the second nostril, I definitely was having PTSD from the first nostril. Like, kind of like the way when you go to an eye doctor and they're doing the air test and you know it's
Oh, I
coming.
hate
You're
that.
like, yeah. So that's the way I was. I was like bracing myself.
Yeah, the second
So,
eye is always the worst.
yeah, exactly. So, but
All right.
tolerable.
So, as there is no vaccine available, did your doctor ask you to take any meds, prescription or OTC?
No, there you can't. It's viral. You have to really just let your body fight it. I think the only reason they want you even to go in is if you're having problems breathing and you need assistance breathing or you need oxygen. That's the only reason they want you to
You
go
weren't
in.
really having problems breathing, right?
No.
Okay, good. Any other tips from your doctor besides washing your hands and social distancing?
I mean, they just honestly like using common sense and really thinking about just other people, which I was already doing anyways. I won't even. I have like a ton of great friends. I have a great community, and people have been really great about offering to come over to either drop off, food or like any supplies, or even just to walk my dog, who I wouldn't let them get near because he's contaminated too because he's been by me this whole
Right.
time.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
yeah, but for me, I'm like, I don't even want you to risk coming to my porch because they say it stays on surfaces up to 72 hours.
Right.
So it's just I just had to like say, you guys, I've got this on my own. Just
Yeah. Well, the good news for you, your dog is, and the research I've done, there was one example of a dog that had coronavirus, this strain of it in Hong Kong, but they didn't know if it was actually on the dog's fur or if it was actually inside the dog. So they think that the dog actually only had it on its fur because the owner had it. So the good news is there's a greater chance that your dog can't get sick from coronavirus, and that's what the vets are saying. So I think your dog is in fine condition being with you, but I agree that you shouldn't let other people see your dog until this whole month goes by.
Oh yeah, no, he's been great. He seems pretty healthy. He's been super like comforting, and he's like at my foot right now.
Awesome.
But like, yeah, I don't think it's from what I can see, it's not zoonotic because I'm not gonna lie, we have been cuddling every like single moment, and he's been like licking my face, and like it's hard to stop him when he's used to doing that. So
Right, exactly.
And he seems perfectly healthy.
Good.
So I think it's just like on his fur, on his collar, and I just didn't want to risk anybody getting near him just in case.
Good. Very smart. And then one more question. Oh, two more questions. Did you have pre-existing conditions? You said yes. You have an autoimmune.
I have autoimmune issues. So, and that's the reason I was able to get tested.
Got it.
Because again, unfortunately, they weren't going to allow me just because of my age demographic. I mean, I'm old, but I'm not old enough. So.
You look great, though. And the last question, and I think the answer is no. My friend asked if you got prescribed hydroxychloroquine. Did you get prescribed?
No. Yes, I've heard that there's at this point there's like nothing for them to give you. You just really just have to let your body fight it off. Hopefully, just
so
like
how long are you gonna stay quarantined for? When's the?
Well, so that's yet to be determined because the health department calls me every day. I have a caseworker, my new BFF Liz from the health department. Honestly, by the end of this, I'm not like engaged or anything like that, but like if I ever do get married, she's probably by the end of this going to be like a maid of honor at my wedding.
That's awesome.
We're talking every day. But no, essentially they're just going to evaluate me like each day, and then once they think I'm in the clear. Well, originally they told me that I would have to get 2 negative tests in a row with 24 hours in between each test, but now I don't think that's the case as of today, but that might change tomorrow. So, and actually they asked me to sign a home isolation agreement.
Crazy.
Yeah, which I haven't signed yet because I had some questions like regarding as far as the legality and if I have to sign it legally, what it holds me to. So, but
they said that even if you're sick, obviously you should stay home and all that. But like if you have a dog, you can still walk your dog as long as there's no one next to you or near you, right? I mean, can you?
I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I have had to like walk him a little bit, like short walks. But like
I think that's fine. They said that's fine for people because it's like at the end of the day, you can't have someone in the house especially because you're single, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're exactly like you're doing this all on your own. I think that if you had, if you were in a relationship or you're married, then you could lean on someone else to do some of these tasks for you. But when you're someone like me and you, and we're just like these independent, free spirits by ourselves, we have to go outside at some point. It's just, I think, inevitable. As long as you don't interact with people and you maintain social distancing, I mean, that's the problem with this, you know.
I've been very vigilant about like staying away from people, and even when I'm walking them, I'm just very conscious. And if I see someone like even like down the street, I cut down a different street. I just take a different path, and I've been avoided any sort of contact with anybody. And even poor Finley, there's one dog that's in our neighborhood that's whenever he's at his fence, I usually let like them run up and they sniff and they kind of kiss each other at the. Oh, hey, speaking of,
It's your dog.
I've had unfortunate Finley, stop it.
What's the dog's name?
Finley.
Finley. Can you hear me, Finley?
I've had to like not let him like, make contact himself because I don't want him to pass it to the dog and then pass it to the family. So
right.
You gotta sit.
Well, he's happy. He looks happy and healthy. That's what matters.
This is like honestly like heaven for him because he gets to have me 24/7. I don't have to go into the office. So he is like with me at all times.
That's awesome. Look at him licking you now, trying to keep you nice and healthy and clean.
All right.
That's so
trying
cool.
to spread it more.
Yeah, whatever. It's all good. Well, that's all the questions I had. And,
okay.
I'm sorry that you got diagnosed with coronavirus, but I just feel like with all the news stories and all this, there's a lot of rumors and stuff. I wanted to go to the source and talk to someone who's been through this to get some details. So I think this was really helpful for me.
No, I'm glad I could be of help. And like, I just want people to know, like, it's not something to get stressed out about or panic, but, please just exercise caution. And there's a reason that, they're implementing all of these restrictions. They don't do travel bans. They don't shut borders down. They don't shut small businesses down or the NBA or Disneyland down just to do it. This is a real threat. And if we want to curb it, and everybody knows this, but flatten the curve, this is like what we have to do. There's a meme that's going around that I sent to a couple people that essentially said, your grandparents got called to war. You're being asked to sit on your couch and watch Netflix. You can do this. And, just do it because like, we're really I think the biggest thing is obviously we're trying to protect the people who are older and immunocompromised, who can get really sick from it, but we're also trying to really save and protect our healthcare system because,
right.
The hospitals and the medical workers, they're going to be overburdened and overtaxed. And if we don't help protect them and save them, our healthcare is going to collapse. And then where will we be?
And I see a lot of them are getting sick too. So
yeah,
I give a lot of respect and props to our healthcare workers that are on the front line of the battlefield handling this.
Me too. So
thank you to them. As we say in Thailand, kap kun kap.
Kap kun kap.
That's right. Well, also this was super helpful, and I'll put your Instagram tag if you want it on top of this, so that people can follow you and see how you're doing.
Okay, it was great talking to you.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see you in like a month or two when your quarantine's over. We could.
Yes, really, finally. I look forward to it. Okay, awesome. Safe travels, Adam.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, BeFreeMySheeple.